Welcome to the next module. This one is about advanced equations. So we're going to be looking at some equations that are not as easy to solve. These are a little harder to solve mentally if you're someone who likes to do mental math. If you're using the notebook model, you want to go to your advanced section, advanced equations. And let's take a look at the first problem. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. If you have the worksheet, you can follow along from there. If not, you can just write the problem down with me. Number 1 is 4x plus 5x minus 10 equals 35. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the frame that will help me solve this problem. And I can tell you immediately that this is the constant side. And the variables are on this side. And actually we just want one variable in the end. So let me go ahead and call it variable. And here's the difference. This is the first time we have seen a problem where you have two letters. It's the same letter, and that's important. It has to be the same letter. But we have two of them. So before we can go any further, we have to combine like terms. And this is an algebra term. An algebra vocabulary term. You will hear this again if you take algebra in other places. So 4 plus 5 is 9x. And the rest of this problem I'm just going to copy down. And then I'm going to move the 10 over to the constant side and cancel. And I'm left with 9x equals 45. And then I'm going to divide away the coefficient. So I'm left with x equals 5. 45 divided by 9 is 5. And so that one is solved. Okay, let's look at the next one, which is a completely different kind of problem. On this one, I have, this is problem number 2. Let me label that. 11x minus 10 equals 8x plus 5. And I really need to move this down just a hair so that I can draw my solving frame down through there. And hopefully you see the problem. There is an x on the left and there's an x on the right. And when this happens, one thing you can do, and this is one way to do this, look at your two variable terms and figure out which one is bigger, 11 or 8. 11 is bigger. So I call that the boss variable. And this is not a proper algebra term. This is just my term. It's the bigger variable. So we're going to use that side as the variable side and this side as the constant. Okay, so I need to move the minus 10 and I need to move the 8x. And I'm going to start with the minus 10. I'm going to add that 10 here so that it will cancel and add it over here under this constant also. So I have 11x, 8x plus 15. And to get the 15, you're just adding those two constant terms. And this is the new step, so let me change the color. Remember, this is a positive 8x, so we're going to minus 8x on both sides and cancel. So I'm left with 3x on this side and 15 on this side. So I'm going to divide the coefficient from both sides, and I am left with x equals 5. Problem solved. Okay, number 3. I have 5x plus 8 equals, let's try that again, equals x minus 8. And you can put your 1 there with your x, the ghost 1, and then draw your frame. So I have a variable on either side, both sides. Let's look for the boss, and that would be the 5. So 5 is bigger than 1. Let's let this be the variable side, and this will be the constant side. So first thing, I'm going to move this plus 8 over to the other side. So I'm left with 5x equals 1x minus 16. This is negative 8 minus 8. So be careful there. And then here is this plus 1x. I don't see the plus sign, but I know it's there. So I'm going to minus 1x and minus 1x and cancel. So I have 4 x's on this side and a negative 16 on this side. Divide your coefficient away. So here we're saying 16 negative, or negative 16, divide 4, and that comes up to be x equals negative 4. Don't lose your negative sign. Okay, number 4. I have 5x plus 7 minus 4x equals 6. So let's draw the frame. And I can tell you that this is constant. And the variables, there are 2 of them, but they're on the same side. So this is a variable side. And if it helps you, go ahead and highlight the variables. Highlighters are good things to have around. So on my calculator, or in my head, I want to say 5 subtract 4. And that leaves me with 1. So when we combine those like terms, we end up with a 1x, then the plus 7, and the constant on this side. So we need to move the 7 and cancel. And this is going to be 6 subtract 7, that's negative 1. And just let me show you a little trick here. If you end up with a 1x, remember that 1 is a ghost, so it can just float away. So x is negative 1. If you want to see the actual math that makes that happen, Let's divide by 1 and cancel. So x is -1. Okay, the last one of this particular type of problem, number 5. We have 6 minus x plus 12 equals 10x plus 7. So draw the frame, and that will help you see what's going on here. I have variables on both sides of the problem. I'm going to put my ghost one in there. So look at your two variable terms, the -1 and the 10, and you can see that the 10 is your boss. So this will be the variable side. And on the other side is the constant side. So let's go ahead and move the -1x by doing its opposite and canceling. So I'm left with 6 plus 12, 11x plus 7. So I can simplify right here. Those are like terms. They're both constant. So 6 plus 12 is 18. And 11x plus 7 is still sitting on this side. So here's another constant that needs to get on the constant team. 18 subtract 7 is 11. About to write something there, don't want to write. And then on this side we're left with 11x. So divide the coefficient. 11 divided by 11 is 1, and then an x on the other side. So the solution to this equation is 1.